Something that boggles my mind. I was talking about technology. I was talking about CRM systems in my last video. But another thing that I see companies not doing is, and typically they're smaller companies, but they're not really managing their accounting. And what I mean by that is they're making all their financial decisions out of their bank account, which means that 9 times out of 10, they're not being strategic about it. They're not planning for those expenses down the road. It's very difficult to make hiring decisions that make sense. Your financials, your numbers really need to be able to tell a story about what's going on in your business. So here's an example. You want to go out and you want to hire a marketing company, okay? And you're going to pay this marketing company $2,500 a month. Okay, you assume you've got money in the bank, that you can cover that, and your anticipation is that you'll get more business. So what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to look, at the end of the year or at the end of whatever time period that makes sense, and say, okay, you know what, I invested $30,000, in a marketing company, over the course of this year. How much did my marketing actually improve? How much visibility, how much did my revenue increase? What did this investment make sense? Now, if we're operating out of our bank account, it's very, very difficult to just jump in and say, okay, you know what, I spent $30,000 in marketing, and I can I can show that my revenue increased by $180,000. Just for example. We can't do that because we don't have that history. We don't have those numbers. Of course, it makes it harder when it comes to tax time. It makes it harder to do other sorts of planning. It makes it harder to say, hey, you know what, these need to be our revenue goals for this month, this quarter, this year, because there's no real justification for it. Okay, so what we recommend to a lot of our clients is a product called QuickBooks. It's very, very popular popular product. Many businesses across the U.S. use it. There are other products. There's Xero. There's simpler products. There's more complex products. But the important thing is to be able to manage your finances in a way that puts you in control of your money, that allows you to make good decisions, with your business. If you're having trouble, if you're having difficulty with this, you may want to outsource this. And the great thing about outsourcing it, the great thing about having someone else do this, if this is not your bag, is that the work is getting done and you can start to point to different areas of your business where you might be able to save money, where you might be able to really see if you're getting the productivity, out of the team or out of the investments that you're making. You're able to get a much clearer picture of what's going on. I've seen it in many cases where the cost of hiring or outsourcing or having someone else do your books pays for itself just by the visibility that it gives you, just by the amount of expenses you may be able to decrease, and the justifiable decisions that you're able to make, from financial decisions, not just operating out of your bank account. Your company will be in a much, much better position to grow much, much faster, much more aggressively.